Hey guys, hope you are all doing well. In this video I'm going to be sharing with you why I'm buying Corsair Gaming right now, and I'm going to share with you my full research on this stock, and also I'm going to share my opinions on why I believe this stock is a good investment for me as an individual stock picker, and how I can beat the S&P 500 return by investing in this stock for the upcoming years, maybe 3 or 5 years. This channel is all about investing in the stock market as a beginner or as somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience in the stock market, maybe 1 year or less than 1 year, or somebody that just want to learn a lot of things about just investing. So if you are a beginner, consider subscribing because I'll be posting more videos like this every week. Here's the table of content for this video. I'm gonna start with an overview of the stock, and in the overview I'm gonna share with you market caps, ratio, some of the highs and lows, and maybe some charts and things like that. Then I'm gonna share with you what I found in the 10K report. After that, I'm gonna share with you what I found in the 10Q report. And at last, I will wrap up this video with 2021 financial outlook. Later on, I will create another video as a valuation part as a follow-up to this video. So in that video, I'm gonna explain the numbers behind my thoughts, and what I believe the revenue is going to be, and how the stock is going to perform in the upcoming years, and why I believe this stock can outperform S&P 500 returns in the upcoming years. Hope this video brings a lot of value to you all, and appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up. And also, if you're a beginner individual stock picker, be sure to subscribe, as I'll be posting more videos like this every week. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advising, and I'm just sharing my research and thoughts with you. So without further ado, let's start with an overview of the stock. Okay, so here we can see Corsair Gaming. The ticker symbol for this stock is CRSR. This stock has been trading at around 24-25 recently, and the market cap is around $2.325 billion. The EPS here, as you can see, is positive 1.57, which means the company is profitable, and the P ratio as of right now is also 15.78, looking good. The 52-week range for this stock is between $22.39 and $51.37 per share. Now let's have a quick look at their statistics. In here you can see the trailing P, or I like to call it the current P ratio, is 15.11. In addition to that, the forward P is 14.99. The interesting thing here is the price to sales ratio. This is a profitable company. Decent historical growth rate. 1.15 price to sales ratio? Come on, man. This is really low. For a profitable company, this is really low because it's not a risky investment. It's a profitable company. 1.15 price to sales ratio for a growing company. The revenue is growing every year. It almost doubled for the past 3-4 years. I don't get it. 1.15, it's just laughable it's just laughable. So far I can say I can't go wrong buying this stock. Or we may also say easy money stock. I can't believe the stock being any lower in 3 years. So far I can say I can't go wrong buying this stock. Now, here's what analysts expect from this company. Specifically, I want to talk about the revenue estimates for this year 2021 and next year 2022. We can see the expected revenue for this year is $1.91 billion, which is less than what I remember they expected, because they expected the revenue growth to be 12.3% for this year. I remember this number was around 20% before. I think they changed the numbers after the release of the 8K form last week. I may have a screenshot from the last estimate. Let me check that. Okay, this is a previous estimate by the analysts. So the expectation for 2021 revenue dropped down from 2.04 billion to 1.91 billion. Actually, I like this, because before I thought 2.04 billion for 2021 is for the best case scenario. Now I believe 1.91 billion is more rational. Still, I think this is on a higher side for this year, even though I'm a bull for this stock. I don't think they are gonna easily beat the expectations or even beat at all. However, I like the change that the analysts made in their expectations. What I don't like here is 2022 revenue expectations. Before it was 2.15 billion for 2022. Now it is down to 2.07 billion for the next year. Before, analysts expected this company to have 2.04 billion for this year. Now they only expect them to have 30 millions more than that for 2022. Analysts, obviously they're gonna change their numbers with each news or stock movement, but still, what the hell? 30 millions more than what you expected for 22? That's just laughable. Never mind. Back to the real deal. 2.07 billion expected for 2022. I absolutely don't believe the revenue for 2022 to be this low. Obviously, I can't just predict the numbers out of thin air, but based on my research, they should be able to grow 20+% on average for the upcoming years, or 3 or 5 years. So, if the 2021 revenue be 1.9 billion, for the next year, I expect at least $2.2 billion revenue for the whole 2022. Okay, so now let's have a quick look at their financials, specifically the income statement. In here, shortly I want to show you the past 3 years revenue. As you can see, the revenue grew almost 80% in only 3 years, and the company turned profitable last year. Later I'll dive deeper into these numbers in this video. For now I just wanted to show you these as of just a first look. Now let's have a quick look at their business model summary. Corsair Gaming Inc. Together with its subsidiaries designs, markets and distributes gaming and streaming peripherals, components and systems in America, Europe, the Middle East and the Asia Pacific. The company offers gamers and creators peripherals including gaming keyboards, mic, headsets and controllers, as well as capture cards, stream decks, USB microphones, studio accessories and epoch cam software. It also provides gaming components and systems comprising power supply units, cooling solutions, computer cases and DRAM modules, as well as pre-built and custom-built gaming PCs and others, and PC gaming software comprising ICUs for gamers and Elgato's streaming suite for content creators. In addition, the company offers coaching and training and other services. It sells its products through a network of distributors and retailers, including online retailers as well as direct to consumer through its website. It essentially means using Amazon or either just CorsairGaming.com or something like that. This company was founded in 1994 and it's headquartered in California. So this was a quick look at their business model summary. I like this part because it kind of gives me an idea of what this company is doing and what they are selling and actually how they're generating money. Before that, we were just talking about the numbers, 1 billion, 2 billion, analysts, EPS, P ratio, forward P ratio and things like that. But we have to actually know what they are doing to actually make those profits. As an individual stock pickers, we can't buy stocks without knowing how they are making that money. So this is actually what I do first, and then after reading this I usually go look at the numbers like P ratio or analysts expectations and the revenue and things like that. So far I like this stock because I understand the business model and this is an industry that is growing a lot and it has been growing consistently for the past few years, more than a decade. It is a profitable company with a decent P ratio. At this point what I'm thinking of is that I should see what is a good entry point for this stock. Yeah, the industry looks decent, the company looks decent, everything looks good for the first look, but I have to dive deeper and see if the valuation is okay, if there aren't that many risk factors, and I like the risk reward potential. So now, as I said, at this stage I'm going to dive deeper into this stock and look for their financial reports. What I'm about to do is to go to Google search and type Corsair Gaming Investor Relations because I want to know more about the company to see their presentations and management teams and plans and expectations, and in general gather as much information as I can to make the best decision here. After all, I'm going to put my hard earned money in this stock. So now I have both 10K and 10Q report. The 10K report is a comprehensive report filed annually by public companies about their financial performance. The 10Q report, however, is a financial statement like 10K but for the last quarter only. So, I've read the 10K report, which was about 117 pages long, and I found a few interesting things in this report that I want to share with you here. Um, but before everything, I want to tell you about the 10K report in general and reading 117 pages of financial report. It is not exactly a financial report because it also includes some details about the risk factors, for example, or product lines, or a lot of interesting things. But in general, because it's an SEC filing thing, uh, I like to call it a financial report. Anyway, you might have read one or two financial reports like this before, and you came to a conclusion that you don't like reading this many pages. But I have to tell you, at the beginning, it is difficult to read a lot of pages about a company, financial reports, and a lot of data and things like that. It is boring because it's a financial report. But in time, you will get used to it, and I myself, I didn't like it at the beginning. But after reading a few financial reports, now I love doing it because I have an entrepreneur mindset. So when I'm reading these reports, it gives me a lot of ideas about how companies and business models and startups in general work. So I can utilize those techniques in my business or in my life. I don't want to dive deeper into this, but reading 10K form, it is hard at the beginning, but it will get easier. Anyway, in here you can see their product lines. They have about 28 product categories, best in class brands. Best in class brands, not sure of that. They say that obviously, but yeah, not best in every category, but it's a decent brand obviously if you know what I'm talking about. They have things like webcams, some accessories, keyboard, mouse, case, cooling systems, SSD, CPU, cooler, and things like that. You can see everything here. 28 product categories. So now I want to talk about their industry. I found this in their 10K report. Since traditional arcade games of the 1970s, gaming has evolved into the mainstream and taken central place in the global entertainment landscape. There were an estimated 2.8 billion gamers worldwide across all devices, spending more than 174 billion on games in 2020, an amount which has grown at a 12.2% compounded annual growth rate over the last 2 years. According to someone or something, gaming today represents approximately 11% of all American consumer internet and media activity, surpassing activities such as social media and messaging. Again, when I see 12.2%, I like this number because this number is beating the average S&P 500 return. So, as an individual stock picker whose goal is to beat the S&P 500 returns, I like this number. Remember this number because I'm gonna use this number for the valuation part, which is coming after this video. Here you can see their market opportunity. The part that I'm gonna read is this one. Our gaming components products are targeted at consumers who build their own PCs. According to DFC Intelligence, these DIY PC gamers spend $953 on average in 2019, representing 46% of global spending on gaming PCs. And this market has grown at a 14% compounded annual growth rate from 2012 to 2019. Again, 14% compounded annual growth rate. Perfect number. I will also illustrate this part on their global sales and distribution network. We currently ship to more than 75 countries across 6 continents, with our gear being sold at leading retailers including Amazon, Best Buy, JD.com, MediaMarket, and Walmart. In 2020, sales to Americas, EMEA, and Asia Pacific represented 45.5%, 36.7%, and 17.8% respectively of net revenue. In 2020, 2019, and 2018, Amazon accounted for more than 10% of our net revenue at 24.6%, 25.1%, and 22.4% respectively. The interesting thing here is that this number increased from 2018 to 2019, but then it declined slightly from 2019 to 2020. Here I want to talk about the executive officers, specifically Andrew J. Powell, who is around 63 or 64 years old. Andrew J. Powell is the CEO of the company, and he was one of the founders of Corsair Gaming in 1994. He has served as Chief Executive Officer and President since 1994 and was appointed to Board of Directors in September 2018. So far I have to say I've done some research on this guy, and I have to say I like this CEO and I feel comfortable investing in this company. It is really important to research about the executive officers because, for example, the most important one is the CEO of a company. I don't want to invest in a company that I don't believe that the CEO can execute everything in the best possible way. So I have to do my research and make sure that this guy can actually execute perfectly and kind of direct the company to its way. Here are some of the risk factors and this kind of summary of the risk factors. I don't want to dive into this one because there were around 30 or 40 pages just describing the risk factors around this company. If you really like, I can make another video only covering the risk factors because it's really complicated. There is one risk factor that I want to mention. It's a bit difficult to explain what this risk is. It's like this. Imagine all the gamers, they have a PC in their homes. For example, they have to spend a lot of money on graphic cards, the CPUs and things like that to have the PC in their home. And then they can play video games. In the future, we expect the internet speed to go higher. So the theory here is that in the future, we may have Wi-Fi PCs. For example, there is some ultra performance PC somewhere not in our house, and we can access that power or that performance using the internet and play video games without having a ultra high device in our house. So that's the theory. In that scenario, DIY PC gamers don't have to exactly spend a lot of money building their own PCs because they can just access ultra high performance PC just using an internet and maybe paying some monthly subscription fees. For example, I don't know, for example, $50 per month, which makes sense in some scenarios or maybe most scenarios. It depends on how this idea or theory works out in the future. And it is one of the most important risk factors surrounding this company. And I'm not saying if that theory goes well, this company is going to go bankrupt or the business model is destroyed. They're gonna obviously adapt to this new world. Not everything is not gonna change by a switch or something like that. It's gonna change slowly in time. So companies will have the time to adopt their business model to this new world in the future. So again, there are always a lot of risk factors around a lot of companies, but this one I found really interesting, and that's why I'm saying reading 10K reports, you sometimes find really interesting things Okay, so now in the third part of this video, I want to share with you what I found in the thank you form. This thank you form is specifically for the second quarter of 2021. In addition to that, I want to briefly discuss the 8K form that they recently released about their third quarter's numbers for the year 2021. So, Corsair Gaming reports second quarter 2021 financial results. Net revenue was 472.9 million, an increase of 24.3% year over year. Gamer and creator peripheral segment net revenue was 155.2 million, an increase of 40% year over year increase. Gaming components and systems segment net revenue was $317 million, an increase of 17.6% year over year. So now, as you can see here, the 2-year net revenue increase for Corsair Gaming was about 40%, and the year-over-year growth for this quarter was 24%. These numbers are incredible for this year, up to this quarter. Wait until I discuss some of the numbers from the 8K form that I just mentioned. But up to this quarter, everything is great. 24% year-over-year growth is really good. If they continue growing like this for the upcoming years, the stock price can triple in 5 years, in my opinion. Now here, as you can see, in 2018 they had 938 million revenue, and in 2019 they had 1.97 billion revenue. That was a 17% year-over-year growth, and in 2020 they had 1.702 billion dollars revenue, which was a 55% year-over-year growth. In short, they have been killing it for the past few years, and that's what they are showing in their financial report. You have to remember, these slides are from their report, from their Corsair Gaming company's report. So they're gonna try to show things as best as possible. They're gonna show us the best numbers. These numbers are kind of biased, even though they are true. You have to always remember, they are always gonna try to show numbers the best way possible to give themselves the best picture, if you know what I mean. In here you can see expanding adjusted EBITDA with low capex. It was 52 million in Q2 2021, only 4% higher compared to Q2 2020, which was around 50 million. Again, even though the revenue was around 20% higher compared to the last year's this quarter last year, the adjusted EBITDA was only 4% higher. This comes from the supply chain issue that is everybody talking about. I have to dive deeper into this problem. I haven't yet. I really wonder why is every company nagging about the supply chain issue, but I've seen some companies having profitability problem because of this issue, supply chain issue. So that is something that is increasing the cost of revenue. In here, record Q2, you can again see a direct comparison between the Q2 2020 and Q2 2021 and year-over-year percentages. So yeah, it is a great comparison for this quarter, and the numbers are not that bad. The biggest problem here is with the adjusted EBITDA. As I said, the supply chain issue have had some impacts on the profitability of some companies like Corsair Gaming, so that's something to keep in mind. Now it's time for the 8K form. This form was released on October 14, 2021. Corsair Gaming announces preliminary third quarter 2021 financial results and updated 2021 financial outlook. These are some highlights that I want to mention in this video. We believe that our 2021 net revenue has been held back at least 10% by global logistic and supply chain issues, especially by the lack of affordable GPUs in the retail channel. So as a result, for the third quarter ended September 13, 2021, we expect net revenue to be approximately only $391 million. That is not good, but it's around $30 million less than what I was expecting, which is again not good, but Still, if we consider 10% of the global logistics supply chain issue, uh, it comes back to what I've been expecting for this quarter. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. But again, I have to research more about this supply chain issue because yeah, that's becoming annoying. That's just so 10% is a lot, guys. 10% is a lot. Anyway, we are also updating our 2021 annual net revenue guidance to $1.825 billion to $1.925 billion. So, this is the guidance for 2021 which I found from the thank you report for the second quarter of 2021. Before, the net revenue guidance was a range between $1.9 billion to $2.1 billion for the revenue of 2021. Now, this number has been brought down to 1.825 to 1.925. So these are not the best numbers that are going to be out. That's why there's a preliminary financial result for the third quarter, because the numbers are way off what analysts were expecting for these companies. So companies usually do these unscheduled announcements because they don't want to just shock every investor in one day, and by doing it they kind of average down the shock, if you know what I mean. So we have to wait until November 2nd so we can see the fully audited thank you report, and also listen to the conference calls and things like that. But yeah, in general, everything that I've found was great. But the third quarter numbers, even with considering the 10% supply chain issue, it wasn't that great. And I'm happy. I'm happy because the stock price dropped around 7 to 8% after this news. So I can buy this company cheaper. I can buy this company for a lower price. In any other year, I wouldn't be so comfortable with such a miss, with such a revenue miss. But things haven't been normal recently for the past 2 years. Okay guys, that was the revenue guidance for this year and also the 8K form that I wanted to share with you. That was it guys, hope you got a lot of value from this video. I will also gonna have a follow-up video about the valuation of this company Corsair Gaming CRSR, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you wanna see what my numbers are for this company and what are the upside and downsides for this stock. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell and like and write down a comment and pray for me. See you around. Okay, that's it. Bye. I have to wave to camera. I think it's getting weird. Should I stop? Yeah, I think I should stop. Preliminary